Hello and welcome to Financial Express Online, where we bring you unique MSME stories from across the country. My name is Sandeep Soni, and today we have with us Swati Tiwari, founder of Arcturus Business Solutions. Swati has over 26 years of experience in power sector. Her company uses artificial intelligence on images and videos to give businesses complete visibility into their operations, from movement of people, machines, to the monitoring of assets, particularly in energy and infrastructure sectors. Hi, Swati. Thanks for joining us for today's conversation. We'll begin with, how you started the business. What was the idea behind it? How you came across the idea, and what was the thought behind starting it when you launched the business?
See, I started this business in 2019, and basically as a background, I am a power sector professional and had worked for a longer, around 25, 26 years in the corporate sector before starting this. So I knew many of the pain areas which are there for the large infrastructure sectors, power, energy. So that gave me an idea that how those things can be tackled. So slowly we started with some of the, initially with the drone businesses, then finding analytics in the drone images, and slowly we moved more towards the vision-based analytics, like on the CCTV feeds and drone images, and that way. So this area sector is very huge, and accordingly the pain areas are in different sectors, different areas, and that is how we are now trying to solve with the computer vision analytics.
So what are the key areas, that the sector goes through in terms of, defining what are the defects in their physical assets, what are problems that they see in their day-to-day operations. Let's say, let's say construction sector, or let's say, mining, or let's say steel sector. What are the areas, what are the problems that they come across on an everyday basis, and how AI, machine learning, and IoT, solutions can help them on, through your solutions?
Yeah, see, as I said, we have focused ourselves in the industrial area. So all these sectors are where the area is somewhere, it is in thousands of acres. So the major problem which arises is on the real-time monitoring of the asset or the manpower. So apart from the asset, there is also a human element also involved, apart from the buildings and other things. So we have focused our analytics on both the sides, the asset monitoring as well as the human safety monitoring, specifically safety or the security. So when we talk of safety monitoring, in case of any construction large project, there are around 2,000 to 5,000 laborers working on the project. So basically what we have found that in such cases, the companies usually deploy their CCTVs. And we now use those CCTV 24/7 for the purpose of the analytics of the safety. So we are basically, instead of a post-accident investigations, we have brought the technology to help the clients to do it as a preventive monitoring.
Can you share some examples?
For example, let's say in the construction industry, people work at height. So they wear harnesses. They are supposed to wear harness, put a hook for to safeguard it themselves. But many times we have seen that, and there's also certain definition about the height also. Anything about a certain height, let's say 2 meters or so, is considered that there should be a harness being worn by the person.
Right.
So these are certain violations which are seen. Many times people either they don't wear the harness, or even if they have worn it, they haven't put the hook to safeguard themselves. Plus, in the large construction areas, we have seen people not wearing helmet or taking out helmet for a certain time. So all these are the things. Entry in an unsafe area. There are certain areas which can be considered unsafe for a certain time period. At that time, the human entry or any entry should not be there. So all these alerts now come on a real-time basis. So client can see it through the mobile app or the or sitting in the offices itself.
Mhm.
Any
No,
such
this is very
alerts.
interesting because on real-time basis, you get to understand, what's actually happening on site rather than visiting each and every site, under collecting data and then analyzing it. I think
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time and money also. Can you tell our viewers also about the technology per se, how it actually works? Some use case, that you can share with us, how this technology actually works on a day-to-day basis.
See, generally what we do, we take the feeds from the cameras, CCTV cameras.
Okay.
Generally, this technology is more applicable on the IP cameras.
Mhm.
So we take feeds directly from the IP addresses instead of going towards video recorders or any other route. So
Mhm.
when we are taking it that way, so in that case, multiple IP camera feeds are available to us.
Mhm.
So then we basically have got different algorithms or different type of analysis.
Okay.
And like for example, safety helmet, safety jacket,
Yeah.
then boots, gloves, whatever is there, harness, then fire detection,
Mhm.
or in any such thing. So sometimes we also need to customize based on the client's requirement.
Mhm.
Like somewhere we are right now uh, working where the clients want me to identify and it's the electrical overalls which they wear. It is called arc suit.
Okay.
So any such thing which is basically uh, used for the safety, they are that identification happens. So
Mhm.
different algorithms works on the machine. It is on normal server or a workstation with a graphic processing unit.
Right.
So with the help of graphic processing unit, it makes the processing faster.
Right. And the solution you have developed in-house.
Yeah.
Okay. And how much time, cost it took, and in terms of testing of the solution.
See, we have to do the basic requirement in any such cases. And computer vision is having a lot of data to do this type of machine learning.
Mm.
So that means a lot of similar data should be there so that we can train the machine.
Yeah.
Okay, so it takes time. The data management itself, data labeling takes a lot of time.
Right.
And apart from that, testing is a separate issue. The whole idea is to maximize on the efficiency or accuracy.
Mm.
So we have to make the model light also, as
Mm.
well as we have to increase the efficiency level. So
Mm.
in between also we do a lot of learning based on the data which keeps on coming. So our objective is to increase the accuracy level to 95% plus.
Yeah. So I was coming to this accuracy part. How do you measure it, and how do you kind of corroborate it with the actual requirements by a client? So let's say if when we talk about the use case wherein the use of helmets are necessary, how do you measure it, and how does it translate into let's say over 90% efficiency or 95% efficiency, or perhaps more than that, how the data gets translated.
See, basically the measurement of accuracy is being done through a F1 score. So false positive, true positives, and all that
Mm,
combination on a sample of data. You can
mm,
say the sample is collected randomly, and
mm,
accordingly the F1 score is uh, found out.
mm,
Or in any the accuracy for increase of accuracy, algorithms are not only the single point which can enhance the accuracy. There are other factors also. Like for example, a good camera.
yeah.
Camera should be good so
Mm,
that the point of interest which is covering, that is a human being or
yeah.
whatever is the point of interest, should be of reasonable size.
Mm,
So that means you may need to zoom it, optically zoom it to make that possible. Then apart from that, uh, environment training is also important. For
mhm,
example, if I have got some project in North India, my algorithm should be able to adjust based on the lighting conditions of peak winters and peak summers also. Okay,
mhm,
so apart from camera, algorithm, lot of training and the lighting effect. So
mhm,
that all things together, if you take care of all three, four things, it makes your you can say output very accurate.
Mhm. I was on your website and I was looking at the kind of clients you serve, and they are quite known large enterprises. NTPC is there, ONGC is there, Adani is there.
Yeah.
I mean, and it might be a little overwhelming for a small business, to reach out to these large businesses, win over them as clients, convey to them that you have the potential and your solutions are good enough, for these companies to to adopt. uh, how did you approach your first client? What was the meeting about? And how did you convince them of your solution? What was the interaction about? If you can take us through that.
See, we first made an you can say minimum viable product
Hmm.
based on a lot of data which we collected randomly from different our own you can say from certain construction sites, and trained our models. We made the models, trained it.
Hmm.
The first client of mine in this case was NTPC.
Okay.
And this is surprising being a public sector. But yes, I wrote a very cold mail to the director projects of NTPC.
Hmm.
And within 2 days, I got a reply and asking me to come and showcase the solution. It is really very surprising. Nobody will believe it, but this has happened. And
Hmm.
NTPC, when they saw it, they said, okay, let's do it as a pilot project. They gave me a order,
Hmm.
a proper order, and
Hmm.
we executed it for that system ran for nearly 10 months. And we took the feeds from 17 project sites of NTPC at a central
Hmm.
location and
Hmm.
did this analytics. And
Hmm.
slowly, while doing the analytics also on the real-time basis, we also did a lot of more machine learning and made the system quite accurate.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
So slowly, in this case, we have been covering the distance of nearly 250 meters to around 500 meters in case of NTPC.
Yeah.
And now when we do, we are covering a distance of nearly 2 kilometers.
Correct.
So, and increase with the same enhancement of the accuracy is also coming out of it. So
Hmm.
slowly, when NTPC was there, then somebody heard about it. Somebody from Adani called, and
Yeah.
that is how they came. They talked to the NTPC guys also, and that is how we also. And we have been also very active on LinkedIn also
Yeah.
about and have been also part of different seminars and
Hmm.
other such activities where then people come and talk to us about it.
And I think Gail has invested in your company.
Yes.
How did that happen?
Uh, it is through a PSU fund. Government,
Ah,
the oil industries have
okay.
a PSU fund,
Hmm.
and we had pitched into GAIL,
Okay.
and GAIL selected us and have been a very, very supportive investor to us. And uh, we find them a very this was a major support to us, because
Hmm.
when we are new, no VCs will be interested in investing in
For
us.
sure.
That
Absolutely.
is number one. And by seeing the sector in which we were, because
Hmm.
which takes a lot of time for the convincing of the client.
Correct. Correct. So total, how many customers we have currently?
Uh, Around
Oh, so you have two.
6, 7, and now Tata is also joining.
That
At
is also.
least, yes.
What's the current size of the business, and how's the COVID period for you before and after? How the operations have been? If you can take us through the growth in the last 3-4 years.
See, the growth has been slow because again, we had to convince a lot. Our convincing time is very large,
Why so?
especially for. See, we are talking mainly of the companies
Hmm.
which are very large in size.
Yeah.
For taking any decisions, it is not only in one single
Correct.
person's powers. So
Correct.
we have to if I talk of Tata Steel,
Hmm.
I've been talking to them nearly once since last 1 year.
Okay.
ONGC, it is nearly 2 years. So it takes a lot of time is invested in convincing, doing POCs, and sometimes we find it easy with the private sectors also. But
Hmm.
again, what we understand that as an asset base, whether it is private sector or the PSUs, it takes a lot of convincing time to convince people. The first thing people had in mind was that AI will help them in reducing the manpower, which is exactly not the scenario. It is basically AI can be a tool for enhancing the human efficiencies and give them a tool to further manage their work properly. So this mindset also needed to be changed. And another thing which we have found that sometimes people do not want to get in this because of their infrastructure, which is not exactly available to cater this. Like for example, in a big mining company, they said we don't have IP cameras. We only have the analog cameras. Can you do analytics on that?
Coming to the challenge part, Swati, if winning these large PSUs is not a challenge, then what are the key areas that you would want to highlight as a problem or as a challenge in this particular segment?
Mainly funding, as well as you can say funding in terms of requirement of the working capital. Like when we are running around for getting the clients, again running around for getting the investment, it becomes really very tiring. And the most important thing is that there are two ways: either you go to bank or you go to VCs.
Correct.
Okay, VCs, as I have already explained, it becomes difficult for us. But going to bank also is not a very easy task. Because whatever said or done, whenever we approach a bank, everybody asks for a collateral. So that thing has not exactly whatever are the benefits coming to MSME. Also needs to come down to the bank level at the retail level itself. So that is a challenge actually. So we have to literally look for every pie, every paisa in our business, that where exactly we are spending and how much. So we have to be very, very cautious about it. Main challenge is investment actually for us.
So how you have dealt with it? Your personal investments, friends and family?
Yeah, personal investments and Gale again. Gale has helped us a lot in this, especially in the COVID time, because COVID has killed many small businesses. We have survived because we had that fund, and we chose to keep our manpower very less so that we can keep them paying. They were also motivated enough during the COVID time to create new modules. We had created many new modules during the COVID time. And because I don't believe in sacking somebody or underpaying them or cutting the salaries because of the COVID.
Very interesting. So what are your targets for this year? What's the current revenue? Customers, you've already told us. How much revenue you're expecting this year? What kind of growth you're looking
this year? We are looking around a revenue of around 2 CR. 2
CR, and how much that would be? Let's say from FY20 and FY19 or FY20.
Yeah, the 21-22 was a big setback for us because of COVID, and that has reduced. But now things are picking up very nicely, and yes, it is a jump from the last year. Last year we were able to do only around 30 lakh or so.
Thanks, Swati, for taking time out and talking to us. We wish you best of luck.